We will start with Senator Jones on file item 5, SB 1212.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I am here to present Senate Bill 1212, which will update California's old current law to allow the importation and sale of kangaroo products. This bill applies only to qualifying kangaroo products harvested in compliance with existing wildlife protections and both Australian and international law, including the Endangered Species Act. Current code reads that it is illegal to import or sell products made from a polar bear, leopard, ocelot, tiger, cheetah, jaguar, sable antelope, wolf, zebra, whale, cobra, python, sea turtle, colobus monkey, vicuna, sea otter, free-roaming feral horse, dolphin or porpoise, Spanish lynx, elephant, or kangaroo. One of these things is not like the others. Kangaroos in Australia are abundant with a population of over 35 million. There are 4 abundant non-endangered species: the eastern gray kangaroo, the western gray kangaroo, the red kangaroo, and the common wallaroo. And harvesting is limited to the management of these species. Threatened or endangered species are never allowed for commercial harvest or hunting, and Australian law is especially strict in this area. This bill does not change that fact. Among these 4 species that are allowed for commercial harvest in Australia, populations have remained steady for over 40 years thanks to that country's stringent regulatory structure and world-leading stewardship programs. In fact, there are so many roos in the wilds of Australia, the country faces an overabundance problem it must manage through the active culling of kangaroo populations. The overabundance of kangaroos disrupts ecological balance and threatens animal welfare, not just for kangaroos, but also native vegetation, reptiles, insects, small mammals, and birds. To mitigate these issues, the Australian government issues a certain number of tags each year for the purpose of population control. Tag numbers will not and cannot change because of this bill. That is simply not the way Australian law and stewardship practices work. In fact, not a single additional kangaroo will be harmed as a result of this bill. The yearly limits are based on scientific data that incorporates in a variety of environmental factors. The issuance of tags is never based on market demand for kangaroo products. When kangaroos are harvested in Australia, they are done so under the most humane wildlife management standards in the world. The Australian Code of Practice was developed after years of research and consultation with leading scientists and veterinarians in Australia. Organizations in the development of the Code of Practice included the Australian Veterinarian Association, the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, Australia, and the country's 2 leading animal welfare organizations. Australian practices are the gold standard. California's ban does not impact existing harvesting practices or tag numbers, and this bill won't either. California's ban affects a loss of tax revenue and business income, but has no effect on the harvesting of kangaroos. Prior to the ban going into effect most recently in 2016, there were over 600 retailers in California selling kangaroo products. Most notably, boots and personal protective equipment for police and fire, food for dogs with severe food allergies, my personal favorite, of course, protective leather gear for motorcycle enthusiasts. These products shouldn't be illegal, and Californians shouldn't have to take their money out of state to acquire them. California has fallen behind the rest of the nation and is the only state in the country, in the United States, with this ban still in place. Today, we can take a few steps forward, fixing with an aye vote on SB 1212.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Do you have witnesses in support would like to?
I do not, sir. Just there you have letters of support from the Australian government and recent letters from Cal Chamber.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else want to add on in support? All right, we'll go to lead opposition. Do we have 2 lead opposition witnesses? You can come forward.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Jenny Berg, and I am the California State Director for Humane World for Animals. We work to ensure that wild animals are valued as individuals and as vital parts of our ecosystem, not merely reduced to products that fuel a global market. Kangaroos are an iconic species who are valued not just for their cultural and ecological role, but also for their intrinsic worth as a sentient animal. SB 1212 would open California's market to products derived from the largest land-based commercial slaughter of wildlife in the world, undermining our state's long-standing ban on the trade of wildlife products. Right now, the sun came up in Australia, and the commercial shooters are wrapping up a night of killing kangaroos in the Australian bush. Australia's commercial kangaroo industry kills over 1 million animals annually. The Australian Code of Practice requires that young kangaroos who depend on their mothers be killed when their mother is killed. For joeys still in their mother's pouch, this includes methods such as decapitation, cervical dislocation, or a forceful blow to the head. For young joeys on the ground, shooters are only required to make reasonable efforts to find them, and in practice, many are left to die of dehydration, starvation, or predation. An estimate of 400,000 joeys are killed each year. A 2025 report showed that 78% of Americans surveyed find commercial kangaroo killings causes unnecessary animal cruelty. California has led on this issue since 1971, and although it has been contested in the past, we must uphold the ban on kangaroo products. California has the right and responsibility to keep cruel products off of our markets. Please vote no on SB 1212. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Hello, Chair members. SB 1212 would reverse protections this legislature put in place in 1971 and instead align California with an industry facing serious ethical, scientific, and regulatory concerns. In fact, the New South Wales Parliament's official inquiry into the industry confirmed that population estimates, the very data used to justify killing quotas, lacks transparency and sound methodology. It also found that there are not adequate systems to monitor compliance with the code of practice at the point of kill, making welfare regulations meaningless, and that the widespread killing of kangaroos has a profound mental health impact on many Australians, particularly Aboriginal communities, for whom these animals hold deep cultural and spiritual significance. There are also public health concerns. Kangaroo meat is widely considered a high-risk wild harvest product. Californians would be shocked to learn that our government would allow importing these high-risk meat products that countries such as China and Russia do not allow. Meanwhile, major brands such as Nike, Adidas, Gucci, Prada, and many others have phased out kangaroo leather from their products. California has been adding species to Section 6530 of the Penal Code, including 7 species, which we worked on with Assemblymember Mainshine in 2019. We should not be taking animals off this list. Lastly, I'll read New South Wales Legislative Council member Emma Hurst's message to the committee. Quote, kangaroos are brutally slaughtered and their babies are being bludgeoned to death as part of the commercial kangaroo industry. As an Australian MP, I know Australians are horrified by this cruelty, and after visiting the USA, I know Americans are equally horrified. We need politicians in the United States to work with us to end this industry, not open up new markets for it. And with that, I respectfully ask for a no vote.
Okay, do we have others in opposition that would like to weigh in, please?
Afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. Sosin Madanat, W Strategies, here on behalf of Animal Legal Defense Fund in opposition. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. Jennifer Fearing on behalf of myself in strong opposition. Thank you.
All right, we'll take it back to the committee. Comments? Thoughts? See none. I'll say for my own part, with great respect for the author, I know you're responding to your constituents who have interest in some of these products, and you were telling me earlier some of the benefits and maybe that not accessible and other, you were mentioning hypoallergenic dogs, and other things that were somewhat sympathetic. On the other hand, I think the opposition made a very compelling case to me about why we should continue this ban. I mean, this has been 50 years. I know others have tried in the past here, and I know this is your final year and you're attempting this, but it's not something I can support at this time. So with that, would you like to close?
Sure, absolutely. And, I understand the opposition's arguments and, the points that they are making. I think what's important to understand here is that kangaroo harvesting in Australia is highly regulated by the Australian government in very great detail. 49 states and the Federal Trade Commission have come to the point where they have accepted the Australian regulation of this and are allowing these products to be imported to the United States. California is the only state that continues this antiquated, I think I said that correct, ban. And Californians are left, somewhat in the lurch on this because there are products that are important to your constituents and my constituents that are as a result of kangaroo harvesting. And I think that California legislature and us as leaders of our state should give our constituents the same opportunities that 49 other states have, and would ask for your aye vote on this.
Okay. Please call the roll. Do we have a motion, I guess? Do we?
When you lift the calls and the rest of the members are here, you can take a motion then. Yeah.
We'll wait then for a motion to be made on that.
But then maybe I'll come back and close again.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding. All right, thank you all very much.
We need a motion on 12.
Okay, so on the next file item 5, we do not have a motion. Okay, we have a motion by Senator Sayarto. The motion is to pass to appropriations.
Senators Becker?
No.
Becker, no. Sayerto? Sayerto, aye. Allen? Gabaldon?
5?
Grove? Laird? Laird, no. Stern? Sorry. She's absent, not returning. So it's 1 to 2.
Okay, that is 1 to 2 right now. Those still on call.